Hey y'all, welcome back to the channel. I hope y'all are doing really well. Today I am going to be in the world of Newcrest, making this 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom house for a single mom and her teenage daughter. I had a lot of fun building this house. It's very, very different stylistically from anything I've ever done, especially the exterior. It sort of looks like one of those little storage sheds that you can buy fairly cheap that sort of look like a little playhouse or something like that, but it's just on a larger scale. I think it turned out really, really cool. I got the idea from this, obviously from a Pinterest photo, but it had like a garage at the bottom, and then it had a large door with some stairs in front of it, and then a second landing at the top, which was actually, I don't know if it was meant to be the main entrance or if it was just sort of like a bedroom entrance. I ended up making it a bedroom entrance for this instance, but I thought it was so unique looking, and I thought it looked really, the one in the picture looked very urban. This one ends up sort of looking, I'm not exactly sure how to pin down the style of this house, but I had a lot of fun making it, and I really hope you all enjoy watching it. It's one that I'm really, really proud of, and I'm actually really excited to play the household that lives here. I went ahead and created the mom and the daughter. You're not going to see them in this video, but I think they turned out really cool, and I'm excited to come up with little stories for them. So I think this one turned out really great. I really hope you like it. But like I said, I am in the world of Newcrest. I'm in one of those smaller lots that's along the right side. The house next door is actually the house that I have built for my sim self and my husband and our dog. So I built that a while ago, so it's pretty old. I'd like to have a chance to redo it, but that's who lives next door to this little family is me in the Sims world. It's the little snow angels floating in the yard is actually really funny. If you watch my end screen, that's where I filmed it, is my sim doing her little snow angel in the yard right over there. But anyhow, the exterior of the house is pretty much coming together. It took me ages to figure out how, like, which windows and which doors I would like, so I cut out a lot of footage of that. But once I extended the little landing at the top, it made it possible. Your Sims can actually use the front door, and the stairs aren't hindering them in any way, so that's really great. But I decided to use that little landing at the top. It was just going to be a sitting area, but I decided to make it a second entrance. I imagine that the teenage daughter is a little bit spoiled in this instance. She has her own room, her own bathroom, and her own little sort of private entrance. I also imagine that the daughter is a little bit rebellious. That's kind of the story that I've got in my head for how I want to play them, which I'm so excited for. But I really like the way that the exterior turned out. I love those massive doors. I think they came with City Living, if I'm not mistaken. I think they did, because they come in that white swatch with the sort of geometric pattern, but I thought that it worked really well with this sort of plaster siding that I've got, and I've never once used a garage door from City Living until now, so there we go. But I decided to move the house a little bit closer to the street, and I added a sort of like a driveway and a little entryway for those stairs going up to the second level, and then you're going to see me line it with hedges, and I didn't go too crazy in landscaping as far as plants go. I try to keep it very simple, very clean ish, I guess. I use that sort of cattails is what I call them, but I use that sort of plant along with the lavender. I thought that made it look like less like weeds and more like it was meant to be there. And I actually did have those red bushes at the end of the driveway that I was going to use, but I decided to get rid of them just because, I don't know, I thought they didn't necessarily fit the vibe very well. I wasn't getting, super good feelings out of them, so I decided to let them go and just replace them with some larger rocks. But I think this looks really nice. It's very simple, but I think it looks really nice for a little entryway. And then I'm going to also line these hedges with some of those pale yellow flowers that I use for everything. They're so great for ground cover. And then I'm going to put a couple flowers here and there, and that's pretty much going to be it for the bottom of this porch, or of the front of the house. And then for the little landing up here, I decided to make this, of course, for the teenagers, so I used that plastic chair that I probably came with City Living, I can't actually remember, and then a little pink rug, and I do just a plant, and then a little side table with like a candle and a notebook on it. I thought that was really, really sweet. I would love to hang out up here, like that's so cool. But yeah, just put a little candle and then a journal for her to take notes in. Like I said, she's a teenager who's a little bit rebellious, so I imagine that she probably spends a lot of time up here. But then you're going to see me move on to the backyard area. I went back and forth on the backyard, what to do with it, what not to do with it. I do decide to give them a pool. It's a really, really cool pool too, and I'm finally able to use those lounge chairs that we finally got with one of the more recent updates. But you're going to see me mess around with I was going to make like a rounded porch out back, so that's why you see me put that rounded empty room outside the back door, but I of course decided to scrap it and just decided to go for your traditional backyard. It just wasn't really working, and I didn't want to put this house on any foundation for a bit of a change. So like I said, it just wasn't really working, so I decided to go with that. And then you're gonna see me put several trees around and about. I wanted to make it look like it blended in with the rest of Newcrest, or how I picture that I'm going to do the rest of Newcrest. Sort of with a lot of trees and these sort of like very middle class houses. Maybe upper middle class. I'm not exactly sure. We'll see. We'll see who moves in. But then I'm going to put some terrain paint around, as well as those yellow flowers again to kind of fill it out, and a few rocks. And that's going to be it for the flora of this of this backyard. I'm going to put in a gate on this. I could not get the gate to close. I cut out me messing with it, but I could not get the gate to go all the way to the house. Whenever I did, it made the concrete that I've got right here by the pool go all the way to the edges, which I didn't want. I was getting very, very frustrated. Still don't know why, but anyway, I decided to get in this sort of like oblong oval pool. I thought it was really unique. I've never done one of those before. And then I'm going to put a bit more lavender and some more of those flowers around the back corners, just to kind of fill that area out a little bit. I did struggle what to do with the grass right there. You'll see what I do with it here in a few minutes. But again, doing some terrain paint to fill it out and get it the way I want it. And then I'm going to move into the furniture. Like I said, I used those lounge chairs that we got with one of the more recent updates. I used them in the black. I've only ever like played around with them in the white because I don't know. I don't really care for the bright colors of the other ones, but I thought the black worked really well here. And then I went for these love seats that we got from Seasons in the black and white color. I thought that looked really nice and really classy for this mom and her daughter. I imagine that the mom is like very concerned with appearances, so she has money and she likes to show people that she has money, or she likes nice things, which there's nothing wrong with that. She likes nice things. There we go. And then I also decided to put some of this ivy that we got on the side of the wall right here out back. I thought that was really pretty. Some of it gets a little bit bunched up. I'm not an expert on the ivy yet, but I'll get there and it'll look better. But that's what I kind of ended up going with. And then I put another chair right there. And then you're going to see me put a few clutter items around the back. I don't do too much. It's really just a couple of candles and a couple little things like that. I do decide to make the roof, the little awning right there, a glass roof, and it is over the kitchen. You're gonna see it a little more when I move inside. I cut out a lot of me messing with the floor plan, and I probably talked over it, to be honest, but I did want this to be sort of like a half lofted style house. So part of the second floor where the teenage daughter's room is open out over the kitchen. I wanted to be out over the entryway, but it just wasn't working with where the mom's bedroom was, and I couldn't get it to work out that way. So I just decided to make it over the kitchen. It works. I probably could have done a little bit better with it, but I think it's kind of unique, and it was something that I wanted to try. So, but you're seeing me move inside the house now. We're completely done with the exterior. I'm gonna move on into the kitchen, sticking with that black and white theme. I pretty much stick with that throughout the entire living room and somewhat in the mother's bedroom. I just imagine that that's something that she prefers. I feel like she thinks it looks clean, and she thinks it looks classy, and that's what she likes to do. So using those cabinets from Cool Kitchen Stuff, I think. There's one of the more recent packs that I've picked up, and I love it. I love those appliances. I love those cabinets with the glass doors. It's so pretty. I love it so much. I imagine that I'm going to be using those cabinets quite a bit. And then putting a few doors here and there, and then you're going to see me start to furnish everything. But first, I'm going to put a little half wall right there. There you can see how it's sort of open to the kitchen. I don't know. I thought that was kind of cool. Maybe, I don't know. Is it realistic? No, but it made me happy to play around with it. But yeah, you're seeing me move into the kitchen and put a little tiny dining table there for the two of them, as well as a rug and a few light clutter items. I usually tend to go a little bit overboard, not overboard, but I really clutter up my kitchens, but I did not do that this time. And I used that really nice marble that we also got with Cool Kitchen Stuff. And then I don't know why I did this, but I furnished the living room. I guess I was just too excited. So I do the living room first, and then I go into the kitchen. I used that couch that we got from Vintage Glamour, that massive long couch. I was going to do like smaller furniture pieces just because this is such a small living room, but I love the way that fit on the wall, and I thought that was really cool. So I decided to go with that and use a few little yellow pops of color around and about, especially in the artwork and a few of the clutter items that I put around this living room. I thought it turned out really, really well. I was really pleased with using that couch, and I wanted, for the life of me, to put any sort of bookshelf in this corner right here, and it was just not working at all. So you're gonna see me forego that bookshelf. As much as I liked it and as much as it fit the color scheme, it does get the axe. But I end up putting a mirror, I believe, or some other sort of clutter item over there in the corner to fill it out. And then I use that fuzzy rug in that gray swatch. I thought that worked really well. And then I use that dresser sort of TV stand. I'm not sure if that's with base game or what pack that came from, but I really like it and I don't use it very often. So ended up going with a plant in that corner instead of a bookshelf, and a little floating shelf over the TV to put books and like a couple of little knickknacks and things on. I go with this typical like book clutter item right here, and then I decide to get rid of it and go with the one that has the little elephant bookends. I think that also came, maybe it's City Living that came with. I'm going to say City Living, maybe not. But you're going to see me do that in a minute. But I decided to put a little bit of artwork on the side over here. I love these pieces that match with that black and that gold color. That's perfect. Oh, I was so happy when I found those and was able to put those in there. I've used those before. This color scheme is very similar to an apartment that I did way back when. I think it was my second video ever. So I kind of took like inspiration from that, I guess. I imagine that similar people live in that apartment in this house, so it was easy to do. But yeah, putting the elephant bookends up there, and then I scaled down one of those like plants that we got from Jungle Adventure to sort of look like it's sitting on the shelf. I really wish we had like potted plants that actually clipped to the shelf and didn't just kind of float there on the side, but I think it looks good. It looks all right anyway. And then trying to find just a little bit more artwork to kind of fill the walls out. I kind of struggled with that a little bit, so I do use several mirrors to kind of make the place look a little bit bigger and just kind of make the walls look a little less blank, I guess. But then again, like I said, I got so much inspiration from Vintage Glamour, so I used that side table and that lamp as well. I just thought it worked so well. I love Vintage Glamour. I feel like it's a very underrated stuff pack. I feel like it's never mentioned, and I use it all the time. Like little pieces from it, I find myself wanting to use over and over and over again, which is a good sign of a good pack. But yeah, just filling out the kitchen now with just a little bit more clutter. Like I said, I don't go too crazy because I don't imagine like clean kitchens like this have very much clutter. If they do, I feel like they're very functional. So like the salt and pepper shaker and the utensils and things like that. I tried to put like the cookbooks and stuff in here in a minute, and I was just like, no, they're not going to have cookbooks sitting out. But I do put a few things like on the walls. Like I think with Cool Kitchen stuff, we got the like the knife set and like the utensil stand. I do put those in there because they can clip to the wall and they don't clutter up the counter space. So I had no problem using those. You're going to see me place these here in a minute along with that fruit bowl. I thought that was plenty. I thought that was enough for this household. And that cutting board, I think I've used that cutting board in every single house, apartment, whatever, since I got Cool Kitchen stuff, but it's another one of my favorite items. It's so good. But then yeah, you're going to see me finish up the kitchen and the living room, and I'm going to move on to the bedrooms and the bathroom. Now, bathrooms, it's no secret, they're not my absolute favorite to do. I feel like they get very repetitive and there's only so much you can do with them, so I don't spend very much time. I go with that white subway tile and like a black shower and a black toilet. That's sort of like the modern one that I don't use very often, but I need to get better at my bathrooms and making them large enough to include sinks in. I've gotten a terrible habit of just like squeezing them in at the last minute, and they don't have room for everything that your sim needs. So your sim can use the sink in the kitchen, so it's no big deal, but I just need to get better at it. But I did make the bedroom big enough for a double bed for the mom this time, so that's great. I think this bed came with cats and dogs, maybe? Correct me if I'm wrong. I decided to use blue as an accent color in here. I was going to go with the black and white and the yellow that was in the outside, but I decided to change it up a little bit just so that it didn't get too repetitive and it wasn't just completely one note. But I did include that stand-up mirror, the lean against the wall, and that floating bookshelf so your Sims can use the bookshelf. And I combined it with an end table just to make like it wasn't floating there. I don't know. Sometimes that floating bookshelf works, and then sometimes I feel like it looks a little bit weird. So a lot of times you're going to see me combine it with a table to where it doesn't look like it's just kind of hanging on the wall without any purpose. So but I did put that little organizer from Laundry Day at the foot of the bed as just a little bit more storage and a little bit more clutter detail, and then that's pretty much it for the mom's bedroom. Like I said, I did not go crazy in here. I put a few art pieces up and around with some blue accents and pretty much just left it at that. Like I said, I think she's a very clean, neat person, and that's her personality. So you're gonna see me move up to the teenage girl's bedroom now. I picked purple for her room. I imagine that she absolutely loves purple. Everything is purple for her, so her walls are purple. I put those little beaded like curtains up there. I don't use them often enough, and they're such a cute item. I think the last time I used them was several videos ago, but I thought it would be kind of cool for her to pull it shut since she has a half wall right there, and just include a little single bed and just a few little clutter items around for her. I think I gave her a guitar and like a little place to read. Just a few items for her to be able to come up here and, you know, kind of stow away from her mom a little bit. I imagine that that's something that she probably really likes to do. So I gave her that really cute purple and yellow chair that is from Parenthood, I believe. Yes, Parenthood. And then, like I said, that purple bed cover and then a little desk here in the corner as she can walk out to her little deck. So in all honesty, the teenage daughter has it much better in this house than the mom does probably. But like I said, I imagine the teenage daughter is slightly spoiled, so it's no big deal. But yeah, just putting a few more things around and about. That purple clock, again, vintage glamour, another one of those items that I use all the time. And like I said, I gave her a guitar just so she could get a little bit of music skill, and then it gave me an excuse to use that massive purple elephant wall art. Just trying to go with anything purple to match for this teenager. And it took me ages to find the that little poster item right there that I knew came in a purple swatch, and I could not find it to save my life. And then I put a couple books around and like a few like makeup clutter items, I think, like that really cute little nail polish one and the perfume, as well as a backpack and a textbook that's sitting open on the ground. I imagine that she's a little bit messy and just kind of threw it down, and then putting a few more clutter items on a little floating shelf above the bed. And that's pretty much it for the teenage Sims bedroom. I tried to find a purple rug that was going to match the sort of like true purple colors from the rest of the room, and I just couldn't. So I ended up going with that one. I don't think it looks too terrible though. It's not awful. And then you're going to see me go on into the bathroom, and this is going to be the end of this build. This is the last room. So I was going to put a shower in there, but as you're going to see, it doesn't like quite fit. I don't know. It covered up the windows, and so I decided to give her a tub instead. That really pretty tub that we got with Seasons. It's so nice. And then the same toilet that I use downstairs and the same sink. So thank you all so much for watching. I really hope you'd enjoy this build. I enjoy building it. So subscribe if you haven't, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye guys.